Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Terezi E.
Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he made a video about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast, or blames his kids for something, you drink. If I fuck up the intro or make MSS appear to be dumb, you drink. And if King Nam mentions Christmas, you drink. It is $100 tonight for MSS to tell you a story about from back when he was out on the West Coast. And it's $1.08 to make us drink, but you can always give us a little bit more if it pleases you. Speaking of drinking, fellas, I would like to know, what are you drinking? My Sock Summer, what are you drinking tonight?
So I'm on that kick, right? Like just doing the regular old, fucking old fashions. So I just smashed up a bunch of oranges, put a bunch of bitters in there, put a bunch of fucking ice or sugar cubes in there, and then I used the Rebel 100 proof whiskey that I have.
There we go.
That tastes awful when you're trying to drink it straight. So you just mix it up with good stuff, and it's fine. It's fine and dandy for that. Problem is, I don't think I hit my I didn't hit my fucking coordinates right because it was way too sugary. So I just had to I had to put 2 more shots of the 100 proof. So fellas and ladies, get ready because by the end of this fucking little pitcher I got over here, woo, dog, it's going to be some fucked up time. All right.
High octane.
High octane.
That's how we
baby.
need you. That's how we need you. We love it. We love
Pucker it up, baby.
Shout out.
Beef, what are you drinking?
I've gone against my recent trend of doing old style and my Lord having the Chicago handshake because I need a little comfort, boys. I'm under a little stress at work, but it's coming to an end. And so I got the red wine. We're locking down the Turley red wine. Had a little bit during dinner. Had a little Chianti during dinner, but this is had a little Zinfandel, and I feel nice tonight. I'm going to try to smash this entire bottle during the podcast, and then maybe during the post show. Maybe I'll have to open a new bottle. We'll see. I'm feeling good tonight. How about you, Treasy? What are you drinking, my friend?
Well, let me tell you what happened. I may have underestimated how many beers I drank last week. So, fridge, I was like, I got enough beer for this week, or I don't. I only had two beers sitting in there, and I was like, what am I going to do? Because I like to drink beer during the show. Yeah. I don't like to drink like hard liquor. And I was like, wait. My guy Josh Nelson was over a couple weeks ago. We were watching some baseball. He left a beer at my house. And so he left this AleSmith, the Speedway Stout.
They come in cans?
Ooh. Oh, it is. And it is.
It's delicious.
It is awesome and 12%. So we're gonna see how this goes.
That's a good friend.
Is it a
Beef,
special
you might
one?
have to take over for me and MSS. Yeah, it is. It's like
Which one is it?
It's like some like
Is it like coconut?
Hawaiian edition. So it's like coconut and Hawaiian coffee.
Fuck.
So there's caffeine. There's caffeine in it too, I think. So like, let's go nuts, guys.
You're gonna get drunk and all revved up and do some cocaine. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like that you said I'm in, and then you said I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not actually.
I would never do that.
No, absolutely not.
Not here, Kansas.
That's correct.
Not my thing. I like sledding, not skiing.
Beef, how you doing tonight?
Hello. I'm good, boys. I recently watched a Netflix special on John Gotti. Now, the John Gotti story has been out there. It's known, and a lot of his stardom has been out there in the streets. The wild scenes at Studio 54. He whacked out the standing boss, Paul Castellano, when he was coming up, and then coming up behind him, Sammy the Bull, because he could hear the footsteps of the Teflon Don. John Gotti potentially going after him is the one who stepped up and kind of turned red on him. The stories are wild from back then. Them buying jurors, the big parties at Studio 54. They were claiming that like the celebrities loved hanging out with him because and doing cocaine and everything with him because they're not going to tell the papers because none of them really kind of wanted to be gotten by the cops. There's even a story from the Netflix special that Brooke Shields gave her number to Gotti, and apparently Gotti took it and then ripped it up and threw it out. And his buddy's like, "Why the fuck you throw that out?" He's like, she's like my daughter's age. I'm not interested in that," which just surprised me a little bit, So, but I was thinking about the
That
Teflon
sounds like a bullshit story.
Hey, that's what was told. There's even an interview like when he's going on trial with John Amos. They pull him on the street and it's fucking snowing out there, and they ask him about John Gotti. He goes, "I really like John Gotti." Like, what do you like about him? I just like how he carries himself. So this man's charisma was just like something else, and it was an anti-hero of criminal back then. And I was thinking, did we miss out on the good times? Because our criminals nowadays, like Sam Bankman-Fried, look at this goblin. Like, this is the criminal now. This is not a guy that you think, oh man, this is someone everyone wants to be like. He's flashy and handsome, and like he has panache. And he's a weirdo. Like, what? How are we allowing this to happen in our society? I'm so upset right now about.
First of all, you're not going off on SBF. The fuck tape between those two is off the charts. It's fantastic. I think
I could smell it from right here from looking at the picture.
I mean, it's wonderful. But like, I don't want to get off the
Badussy.
But Beef, I get where you're coming from. But let me ask you a question about Gotti. Is Gotti a terrible mobster though? Because like I feel like a mob boss should be like an umpire. Like you should never know his name. If you know his name, he's done a bad job.
Yeah, no, in a way, like that style of mob boss probably. I don't know if he brought it down, like his era of bosses, or they knew it was coming to an end in a way because the mob doesn't have the power that it had back then in the 70s and 80s when it was really like crushing. Like the mafia still exists, but it doesn't exist in a way where like. Because the reason why it doesn't, MSS, is because you see a lot of these guys who are former mobsters out there talking freely about the shit that they did. You think they would ever fly if the thing was super powerful like it used to be? Absolutely not. It's gone underground, and for good reason, man. The internet is a great spot to get over on people, right? So like, why get out in the street and bloodshed and all that? You can just go underground with all this bullshit and take advantage of it. And I've heard that kind of that's where the mob has gone. They've gone into all the internet stuff. And it's like, you don't need to break anyone's legs. You just, steal some shit from them. That's all.
I'm assuming the mob has adapted because, one of the biggest things that, they probably ran is now legal. So it's kind of hard to like profit when there's like, the mob doesn't have an app on your phone to place a bet. Mob
drugs and betting are becoming legal, right? Like
pretty much. I mean, and most
gambits.
Most Italian mobsters don't sell drugs. That was always the rule. Like they don't.
Not according to this. I mean, they weren't supposed to. They weren't supposed to, but they were selling drugs like a motherfucker.
They were selling tons of drugs, but it wasn't like an official thing. But
they didn't file with the government.
Exactly. It was on the Schedule C under 1040.
My grandfather, I remember, made a comment one time, and he said it to us. He's like, we know some people, and that's all he really said. And I was like, okay, we're not connected because no one says we know somebody that actually knows somebody until there's a problem, right? Like once the problem arises, then we're like, hey, we'll go take care of this. Not, hey, by the way, we've done this. Hey, listen, he got in trouble for that and he got killed for that. So, I'm saying it wasn't supposed to be a thing. But anyway, go on ahead.
Our guy Danny says they still sell guns. Danny, don't incriminate yourself, all right? Just lay low.
It wasn't my point, though. My point is, like, now these are the criminals. Like, there's no one to look up to at this point.
I understand.
Like, look at this. I don't want that as the criminal. Get that out of here, man.
You want good-looking criminals.
Give that man a life sentence just for looking like that and just for, like, defrauding people. I want him out of here. That's it.
I'm with you, Beef. I mean, like,
we need sexy people that are stealing.
Style. Have some style if you're gonna do this.
Yeah, have a little pride in yourself. God damn it.
Yeah, like Bernie Madoff's the last guy that we had that was actually out there strutting.
That's a real crook right there. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Trees.
And shaking your hand and taking all your money, like just not giving a fuck, ripping off the Mets. Like
Jake Peavy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Took all Jake Peavy's money too. Yeah. And Kevin Bacon.
Shit happens.
Look
out for yourself, kids.
Motherfuckers all over the place.
So what are you saying, Beefy? You know, like handsome guys like us need to turn to crime. Is that the idea here?
I mean, we're the only anti-heroes left, man. The real criminal anti-heroes are gone. Just us guys doing porn drafts on here. That's all you got left to look up to, you know?
I feel like a lot of the guys that were like really into like kind of like white collar crimes and stealing and stuff like that, they were like, we could just become politicians. And so they got that shit down, and like now they can just do whatever they want. So and they don't look like this. They don't look. Jesus,
Is that true? Is that true?
looks like White Sox Twitter, to be honest. Is what Billy Wire says.
He's not
Possibly.
off.
in some
not
areas.
wrong a lot.
I don't know.
We'll discuss that maybe with Billy in a future episode. My Sox Summer, how you doing tonight?
All right. Speaking of motherfuckers, I mean,
hello.
I don't know if you guys know, but since last podcast, I've been taking a lot of flack on the internet about maybe a decision that I made to, support a local charity. I'm not taking as much shit as this guy, but
Who is?
I am taking. Now, of course, I wouldn't expect you guys to do anything less than when I say, hey, the one person I actually gave a coupon to said awesome, and you called straight bullshit on it, which is fine. I would do the same thing to you. That's what I would do.
Kind of forever, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what it is, right? I get it. I would do the same thing. What this has taught me, though, is a lot of people are out there like saying, hey, do your thing. Make sure you do what you want to do. Go out there and just don't go with the crowd. Do what you want to do. And then when you do something that is not with the crowd, everyone's like, no. Do what the crowd does, dummy. Like, don't do that. Don't think outside yourself. And that's what I've learned. So I'm never again going to go outside and think I'm going to do whatever.
Swindling kids is just it.
Now,
It was outside the box thinking right there.
there's a lot of
going against
I'm going to
grain.
give away nothing.
Going against the grain.
A lot of misinformation that was passed out, too. People are like, why are you giving me a coupon? Nobody said this at my door, which is right behind me. But no, but people were like, oh, you're just giving away, you have to purchase something to get it. No, it was a free Frosty, no purchase. Go do that. Second, they were mostly bought just to donate the money, and I thought it was cool because I used to like him as a kid. But apparently, kids nowadays just hate everything and are lazy as fuck, so whatever. Now, I will
Why are the
say
kids
this.
lazy?
Wait, hang on.
Yes.
Why is he sideswiping kids? The kids didn't do nothing. They
because
didn't give
I
you a
heard
fucking
some
piece of
things.
paper. That's what I know what they
I
didn't
heard
do.
some
Okay?
things.
They went
I
out
saw
trick or
some
treating,
things.
and then when they
I
showed up
heard
at your
some
house,
things.
you hand them a fucking slice of paper.
Big
And they're the
Viking
lazy
looking-
ones.
That's another-
Big
they're
Viking
the lazy
looking
ones.
Son of
motherfucker
a
hands
bitch.
them a piece of paper,
It's
and he's like,
another
I can't
thing.
believe no one spoke up.
Listen, you stupid motherfuckers. I didn't just give them the piece of paper. I gave them a piece of paper and a treat. I
He
gave him
doubled
two
back.
things.
He doubled back on a Tracy. He
you
knew
do.
he was wrong.
You
He
do.
knew he was
No,
wrong.
I wasn't.
So he added the candy to it, and I love that when he put that on Twitter. That's why I
put that-
circled it, and I was like,
Always
"Yeah, I
gonna
put
do
it."
that. I was only going to do that because I only had so many of them. I only had like 35 of them after my kids took theirs to school. But I'm like, I'm just going to give them out to the first 35 people. Anyway, I'm sitting there, not in my feels or anything, but I was like, you know what? I got it. Somebody's like, where's the closest Wendy's to your neighborhood? And I was like, I got to look that up. I wanted to make sure because I get
Even know.
Ashland and Archer confused. So I'm like, I know it's on Pershing, but I get Ashland and Archer
Big dumb
confused.
idiot. You do
I
not
was
get
eight.
those streets in
All these ace streets.
I understand. I understand that it's not
running the same
not
way.
the best, but I do. So I Google it just to make sure because I don't want to put it up there and look like an idiot because God forbid, because then I give another week of fucking entertainment to Loaf and his fucking cronies. I pull this up. Fucking Wendy's after trick or treating. Busier than usual.
Jesus.
And
You know why I was so busy? Starving kids who didn't get candy got pieces of paper instead.
No, they got both, dipshit. But we fucking Mike, that's a mic drop moment, like all around. That's what it is. It was obviously only reason that place was busy is because of my coupons and all the free Frosties. I hope I didn't put that Winnie's out of business with the amount of fucking Frosties. So
It's not even in Bridgeport, though.
Wendy's-
I'm
Someone
buying
the question
It's
that
the
was asked to you,
closest.
it said, "Where's the Wendy's in Bridgeport?" And a bunch of us said there isn't one.
there isn't. But this is very close. It's in McKinley Park. Hey, listen.
How do you know it's close? You don't
fucking
even know what
close.
street that is.
I bought the coupons.
It's
there,
either Ashland or
dipshit.
Archer or wherever. I don't know where it's at on Earth.
I know it's Pershing. I just want to make sure that it was Archer, not Ashland. I'm like, I don't need that in my life. So anyway, Fucking A. I know. I just said it was, Alexis. I said it's in McKinley Park. It's right up the fucking street. Christ almighty. Anyway,
Excellent.
again, busier than usual. All due to my fucking coupons.
You're a hero.
Treasy,
You're actually
how
a
are
hero.
you doing?
I'm doing good. You guys know me. I like to read like these like weird science articles and stuff. And so the other day I was reading one, and it was about starfish. And starfish are kind of weird on their own, right? And it was well, that's the thing. It was like it doesn't have a lot of parts. It's kind of like a snake, doesn't have a lot of parts. And so they were like, we don't know which part of the starfish is the head of the starfish. So a bunch of scientists were trying to figure it out. And they were like, maybe it just doesn't have a head. And what they eventually figured out was that it's just head. That's all a starfish is it's only a head. And it says it's just a head crawling around on the bottom of the ocean. So my question to you guys is, if the Ronald McDonald gang went rogue, who is the one you were most afraid of? I just want to tell you the first part, but the second part is the question.
Listen. You want to go first, Loaf?
Because everyone,
Okay.
I mean, I'm taking the easy one, MSS, I'm sorry, but everyone knows Grimace is a sex offender. So
Don't even know who it is.
Yeah, I mean, Grimace is the one you want to stay the hell away from. That's like, you see Grimace hobbling down the street, you better cover any hole you can. That's all I'm saying.
You can outrun Grimace.
It's a big
though.
butt plug.
I'm not a fast runner, so I gotta get moving, Trees. You know,
think
Grimace runs better for size than you might think. So
You think it's like a horror movie? Like you're running, you trip, and then Grimace is like right there.
Grimace is
He's
right
like,
there with it out.
It's right there.
No, he just
Ready
starts to
to
rub
go.
his head. He starts to start lubing up the top of his head and go in your ass. He's a big, gigantic butt plug.
See, people know out there. You cannot trust Grimace. No way.
He's
shape, or
flared
form.
at the bottom so he won't get shoved all the way into your butt. Like it has to get bigger and bigger. That's what they do with butt plugs.
No flared. Please.
I would, so like, yeah, the one they want you to fear the most is Hamburglar, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like he's totally distracted by cheeseburgers and hamburgers. He don't give two fucks about you. He's not one that I would worry about. Obviously, Treasy's most like feared person, Ronald McDonald.
Obviously, you guys know that one.
That's not even a question.
I'm afraid of him right now.
The guy has huge feet and then like all those stripes and yellow. Ooh, like just a lot going on with that motherfucker. I wouldn't want to fucking be, next to him anywhere close. Hell no. But the birdie chick. I don't know what the fuck that chick thing is. It's like looks like a girl, but it's a bird. It flies. Fuck it, man. I'm saying the fuck away from that person. I don't even know what it is. It's half person. It's half animal.
Person.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
So Birdie McFly or whatever the fuck it is, man.
Yeah,
no.
Big Bird knocked up a
good.
human, and that's what happened. That fucking atrocity is what came out of it.
And it's probably super strong. By the way, Loaf, I just watched that Rick and Morty where the turkeys got turned into people. And so I'm afraid of bird people. Like, I don't want none of that.
Nothing to do with that shit.
Also, Teresa, before we pay some bills, I want it noted that Loaf not only has sleeves on, but it appears to be a collar, and it's just very odd.
No, I
don't know what the fuck's going
It's
on.
like it's like an undershirt, it's like a thermal undershirt, right?
Yeah, it's like a thermal undershirt. Yeah,
Okay.
basically. Yeah,
Is
know
it
what
'cause
it is?
you're
It's a
drinking
little,
wine,
it's
or
a little
what?
chilly today. I don't know. It's
is
just a little
chilly.
chilly. So even in the house, it's not that warm. So I have a
Beef,
long sleeve shirt on.
I don't know if you caught this in my Sock Summers answer though, but he kind of implied that much like him, Hamburglar has been wrongly accused.
Yeah, there was a tinge of that. I didn't want to bring it up because he was getting on a roll.
He's a sympathizer now.
I know how horny he is for that picture of Ronald McDonald where it has the fries coming out of the crotch, and I thought that he was going to bring it up on the screen, but I got it away. I was surprised none of you guys said, Mayor McCheese. I thought this was like a podcast where we don't trust the government, and apparently we do. In McDonald's land, we do. We're fine with the government, apparently.
In McDonald's Playland, I'll trust the mayor. Yeah, Mayor McCheese, he's fine.
We got a drink from Daniel, and he's kind of right here. He says, "This is a trick question, Treasy. I'm more scared of Burger King Kids Club. Jaws and Kid Vid will turn your face inside out. Shady will bite my ear. This is a deep
Kid
cut,
Vid.
and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. this is actually really good. I'm gonna be fucked up.
Yes.
Oh, I love to hear it.
Same over here. Why don't you pay some bills? We'll come back. These will be empty.
Let's do it. It wasn't even November, and we got dumped on by great white flakes from the sky. Cars were sliding this away and that away. The last thing you need during the holiday season is a goddamn car accident. Those things suck balls, but you can only control so much. The Mazda CX-5 earned a Top Safety Pick Plus rating from the IIHS. This award identifies the Mazda CX-5 as one of the best choices in terms of safety. Top Safety Pick Plus winners have good ratings in the driver's side, passenger side, original side, roof strength, and head restraint tests. What's more, these vehicles have an advanced or superior rating for available front crash prevention. So even in an accident, your Mazda will protect you. Visit MazdaRolandPark.com to get all the specs and details on the complete line of Mazdas. Whether you're from the Chicagoland area, Northwest Indiana, or Southeast Wisconsin, they would love to have you visit and test drive a Mazda today. Happy holidays from your friends at Mazda of Orland Park. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park, 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
Boys, it's time for a segment that I have been missing, and it is the Lawrence's Hot Sauce Seat. Now, we're going to bring someone to the stage that we haven't talked to in a while. Someone that is an OG 108er. He ate 149 and a half hot dogs in 2019. Some people are saying that amount of hot dog consumption is actually what caused the pandemic. But we love him. We know him. He hasn't been on the Sunday Soak in a minute. And we bring him to the stage now. It's King Nam. King Nam, unmute yourself, motherfucker. Let's go.
He's like, I don't even know how to
There
do
he
it.
is. Yes. Wonderful, man. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
Really
guys.
good. I appreciate on Saturday night, out of the clear blue. Now, we DM a little bit, mostly about gambling stuff, of course. We would like to get a little action, you and Treasy. But you DM me on Saturday night with a video that you and your family putting up your lovely Christmas tree behind you. So before I ask the question, I just want to let you know that I want to thank you for being a fucking messenger of joy. Well, all these people out here are hating on Christmas, but what do you have to say about those people that say, people like you and people like me, I'm bigly in favor of this. I was going to put my tree up as well. Our advocates, of premature tree erection are starting a war on Thanksgiving. What do you have to say about that now?
Well, I need to say that I'm not starting a war on Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is a fantastic holiday. Plenty of food, plenty of football, plenty of drinks.
All right.
But who the fuck decorates for Thanksgiving?
That's true.
All the people, listen, I'm on the to each their own bandwagon. Absolutely. As you can see, I put my tree up on October 28th. So I don't give a fuck what people think. It's what makes us happy. So anyway, all the people out there that have a stroke about this, I need the decorations for Thanksgiving. Show your houses. What are you working with? Where are the pilgrims? Where are the fucking turkeys? You don't have anything. Don't give me an orange candle that your fucking wife got at Aldi. I don't want that shit, man. Like actual fucking decorations on the walls, centerpieces, whatever. And also, to preface this, I don't want anybody over the age of 60 showing me this because they probably all have a bunch of ceramic bullshit.
That doesn't count. That's out of, MSS might have it too because he buys stuff at yard sales from old people who died. So he doesn't count either. But I agree with this 100%.
I put my candy in this turkey ceramic bowl. No, now I would normally like just start yelling at you, but I don't even care anymore. Like you and my wife have beat me up enough, like about putting the trees up. I don't care anymore. And I was at recently, and I get yelled at about this every day. I saw an inflatable 8-foot inflatable turkey, and I put it back. I was like, I don't even think we'll put this up if we buy it. Like, I feel like we have too many inflatables. So you're right. People do not decorate for Thanksgiving, including myself. So I'm sorry. I have a Southpaw bobblehead where he's a pilgrim, and so I put that up. But like other than that, man, that's just mostly because I like Southpaw. So shout out Southpaw.
So that is my point, though. Like, you can celebrate Thanksgiving. Nobody's saying we're not skipping Thanksgiving. I'm looking
fucking
forward.
right.
I'm fat. I like to eat. That's right up there with Christmas. There's just not any decorations. And honestly, if you do have the decorations and you put them up, it's not the same. It doesn't add the same ambiance, the same whatever to your house. Like, nobody drives around and is like, oh, look at that turkey in this person's front yard. Nobody does.
Maybe we should.
The tour around the neighborhood to see all the Thanksgiving directions. Decorations doesn't happen. Now, in the comments, Missy says, what do you mean Karen decorated the hell out of the house for Thanksgiving? This is absurd. Missy, I want a picture from your house of the painting of the American Indian getting smallpox. That's how you could show me that you actually decorated for Thanksgiving. Otherwise, I don't fucking believe you. Okay, you're right. Until I see some pictures of that. That's what I do.
If they have pictures of that, I'll decorate my house with that, and I'll wait until Black Friday to decorate for Christmas next season.
Black Friday.
Treasy, how about you, buddy?
I think that we need some Thanksgiving type of decoration, right? I think like they're skipping on it. No one's come up with it. So like I don't mind that you're putting up your Christmas decorations. Like there's fall decorations. We have some stuff around the house, right? But it's like there's no good Christmas decoration or no good no good Thanksgiving decoration or no good Thanksgiving thing.
There's no good Christmas decorations either.
For like Christmas, you've got like the Advent calendar, right?
Yeah.
Like, give me something like a big turkey piñata that we get to break open Thanksgiving morning, and it's just it hangs in the house. It hangs in the house for gravy. It hangs in the house for a few. We're just stuffing, just stuffing that's been in there for weeks. Just explodes across the house, and you just scoop it up off the ground.
Yeah, you pack it in there at the beginning right after Halloween. You pack all the stuffing in there, and then you burst it on Thanksgiving Day. I like that idea, Treasy. How about a full size painting of Barry Sanders, because he was out there every Thanksgiving when we were kids. He was always there. You know, I think something like that, or Jimmy Johnson with his hair coiffed back.
Barry Sanders
that,
being better than Emmitt Smith is the perfect Thanksgiving decoration.
Huge Barry Sanders, tiny Emmitt Smith right next to each other. I think would be
and also
elite.
I feel like, because there's the gap, right? There's and I get why Nam's doing this, right? Because there's a 20-something day gap right now of nothing. Right? There's like, so why not just get into the Christmas spirit? If you had something, like let's say, for example, we go out on November 1st and we just throw all the jack-o'-lanterns that we had into the street at each other. Big pumpkin fight going, at least one day's covered. And then we were like, this is a fall decoration. Just pumpkins flying through the street, breaking some windshields. It's good. It's good, clean fun.
Good stuff.
The commenters say John Carney says he wants Wayne Fonts covered in cranberry sauce. Baloney says turduckens, or get the fuck out of here. Let's take it easy on the turducken, okay? I don't want to. The prep work of the turducken just sounds like too much. So now I appreciate you coming on here, because for me, bring on all the Christmas movies, bring on thick Mariah Carey, give me that goddamn eggnog. Let's fucking go. And I appreciate what you're doing over there. Any last thoughts about the Christmas versus Thanksgiving war?
Not so much. Just don't let My Sock Summer fool you. He is a big Christmas fan at heart. In fact, he's come down to his wife's hometown the last 2 or 3 years.
I have.
He's done some Christmas-related things. So
wow.
We're working hard on him. So this is gonna be
You've won the war. You already won the war.
We're going to decorate his house this weekend.
Come through.
I'm sure he'd love anyone doing work.
See you Saturday. Come through. We'll have pizza.
Nam, take care. We love you. Be good, my friend.
Good to see you, buddy.
Me, boys. Take it easy.
Bye-bye. That was King Nam.
Smash
Or
pass. 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 Smash
or
pass.
That I did listen to before,
Wow.
Treasy. I listened to it during the day, and I'm like, this is way too long. There's way too many special passes out here.
Wait, play that again. No,
Yeah.
please don't.
Is that on a loop?
I can stop
Holy
it.
shit! I thought he messed up. And like it played twice.
No.
No.
No, that's the thing.
It took days.
15 seconds.
It took days.
It's 15 seconds.
So just so you know, there's a new segment we're working on. So Beef.
It's
Beef
called, what is it called?
Beef messaged us and he said, "Man, I want a segment called Smash or Pass. I don't know why. I just like the name of it." And I said, "Put it in this week's agenda. I'll come up with something." So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask
Sammy,
you guys
go fuck yourself.
some changes. I'm gonna tell you guys some changes that I want to see to Major League Baseball over the next decade or so. And you guys tell me if you smash or pass on these changes. I think they're all fantastic, but I'll wait to see what you guys say. And let's get right into it. I got the first one, which is, and stick with me because you're gonna jump on it right away and be like, yeah, I want that. But let me finish up. We're gonna lift blackout restrictions for MLB.TV, right? Like, so local game blackout restrictions. However, if you're not paying for MLB.TV and you still want to see your home team play on there, or even if you're paying like just the one team fee for MLB.TV and you want to see your home team, you totally can. There's nothing stopping you except a 10-minute Flex Seal infomercial before you get to watch a game. Every game. This is so, like, if you watch all 162 games, it's like you've watched a full day of Flex Seal infomercials.
I'm gonna go ahead and smash. Now, Tracy, is there like a quiz at the end to make sure you watch the whole thing, or do you just let it play and you got to get out of the way?
It's interactive.
Is there like
you know what, like
multiple
work,
choice about
you know
how
what,
it went?
you know at work when it's like when they're doing like the trainings that you have to do, like the security trainings and stuff like that. It's one of those. Like, there's a quiz. You got to know each individual item that he flex sealed during it, or you can't watch.
Okay.
You have to watch cricket instead.
Still smashing. I'm still smashing.
I'm gonna smash that also. I think I could, because I mean, feel like once you've watched one of them, they're all the same. They're not gonna make different questions. So once you get one, you just be like, it'll be like the intro to Contra. You know, you're up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. And then you're like on, like, and as a parent, and I Loaf, you're probably not as attuned to this anymore because your daughter's older, but I can tune shit out that's like playing already away from me. Like, I don't even need to really hear that, so it's not even going to get there. So once I watch it once and write down all the answers and then just get it into my program, we're good. So yeah, I'm gonna smash the shit out of that too.
Beef, when I originally wrote this up, it was a Tony Little infomercial, but I was like, no one's gonna know who that is. We're too old.
I know who Tony Little is.
Billy
The Gazelle,
Wires and a few people
motherfucker.
would know that shit. That's about it.
The Gazelle, right?
Yeah. He had an ab
fabulous
workout thing. Like,
Yeah.
he had the blonde flow. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. He's the man.
Who was the wrestler he looked like? It was like Mr.
All
Was
of
it
them.
Mr. Perfect? I think it was Mr.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I don't know when he
The
wrestled.
long hair, yeah.
Interchangeable with any wrestler in 1980.
Every wrestler from that era looked like a female.
A lot of fanny packs.
I think you guys will be down with this, but you know, I never know because this is a little taxing on teams, and it's going to be weird. So it's going to be like a very different thing than we normally have. And I want opening day, because I'm with White Sox Dave. Opening day should be a holiday. Opening day is a nonstop, 24-hour international game day. Starts Thursday night in London. Right, we'll have the Red Sox play in London. I think their owner owns teams over there or something. We'll start there, and we'll move.
John Hendry.
We'll move east throughout the morning. Just like, you know, we had those games before when, like, in Japan and Australia where they were like 5:30 in the morning. We'll do that, and then we'll come back and go East Coast to West Coast so that there's a game like all the way real late at night that you could watch.
Yeah.
So you're just easy 24 hours plus probably of games. I think it would be awesome. I think it would be a very cool thing to see. And if they want to make the game international, I think it helps. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Smash or pass on that one.
I'm smashing. Absolutely. I mean, I think it would be like the NCAA tournament on drugs. You know, like, because people would just be like, you know, that Sunday or whenever the day would go off, right?
So it's like Thursday through Friday. It's Saturday morning when you're done.
Everyone's taking
Nice.
off. And you just start, and then you just start going, you know, like at midnight, and there'll be like a crash party, like Barstool River North or whatever. There's like 17 people show up for that, you know, and you just start drinking. It's all day drinking for like 2 days. Yeah, I could do that. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm 100% smash. But Treasy, I think you got to space it where, like, you might have to play one game in, like, Alaska. I saw Sharon's
Hawaii.
ex-husband, Chris, say Hawaii. Like,
Yeah.
You might need to put in some special spots so that you can layer it nicely so that you're kind of rolling into another game and you don't miss out on anything. So I don't know where you're going to send all these teams if they're going to play the whole series in whatever spot they're going to. That could be interesting because then it could be wall-to-wall for, like, a weekend. But But even if you
Well,
don't
yeah,
do
you-
that for the one day, I'm smashing this really hard. I love it.
You would definitely just you would have a whole series wherever they go, right? Like so you'd have a couple games in Europe, and Europe could go into the middle of the night, and then you'd start like maybe like South Korea into Japan, Australia to bridge it,
To cover it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's actually pretty easy if you like lay it out. It's the travel's tough, but the laying it out is pretty easy.
Well, we don't.
John
gotta travel.
Carney's right. He says
get two fucks.
Tony Little can throw out the first pitch. I agree. At every game, they fly him to the
I was
next
gonna say,
place.
who was the band that played like in like 7 continents or 6 continents in like a day, like where they just kind of like flew around and did shows. I forget who it
Menudo.
was, but I wish it was Menudo. I would have went to all of them.
Oh,
Ever present.
they would
All
put
right.
you in their carry-on if that ass wasn't so big.
Next up, I got an idea here, and this is a little bit tougher to implement, but I want it. So, when a team doesn't make the playoffs, their owner is fined, and so every consecutive year, it doubles. So, like, if you like, let's say we start with $1 million for the first year, like it's only $1 million if you miss the playoffs, but if you miss for like 5 straight years, it's like $16 million. If you miss for a decade, it's a lot, right? Like
You're handing over the keys of the team.
you might as well
that's
just
how
sell
much
the
out of
team.
money you are.
You might as well just sell the team.
I am smashing the hell out of it because I like incentives that push teams to win. The other one that I always like, Treasy, is if you're the last team to just miss the playoffs, you should get the first pick in the draft. They should incentivize teams down the end.
I like
to
that
win.
one a lot.
And so I like them being fined. Remember at the 108 day, we were like outside the box ideas. I'm like, the owners should have to bet $5 million of their own personal cash on every single fucking game. And it should show up in a suitcase. Like, like in dodgeball, when they open up the suitcase, $100 grand, look like it was $4. Yeah, it shows up like that, and you got to hand that goddamn money over. The owners would try harder if they had to give it up. So I agree with if they got fined like a motherfucker, and it was their money out the door. Absolutely, I love it.
So, I mean, yes, I like it. What I don't like about it, though, is that who's going to get that tax pass on to them? It's the fans. And then you're going to get into this weird, like, kind of, like, not every team can make the playoffs. This isn't the NBA. So, like, it's like you're
It's
going
close.
to get
A
a
lot of
lot
teams make it.
though. Right, but, like, it's still not that many, all right? Is it? It's not really that many.
It's getting there.
It's getting there, but it's not there. So then you're going to get into this point, like where these people like fucking just suck, and they just can't get out of this, and then they're just like going into debt, and then
They got to sell the team. You got to get rid of the team if you stay.
You're going to have to sell the team.
Yeah, that's
but then
good.
once they sell the team, then that person's got to pay the debt too. And if they don't fucking do any better, and they don't get, I don't know, man. I think it's just going to get passed on to the consumer.
Gotta
I'm
figure it out.
passing. I'm passing.
Oh, big, huge.
Pass,
Got to protect
pass.
the owners. Got to protect the owners
Yeah.
at
He
all
says it's going to
costs.
be passed on to the consumer. He might be
gonna
right
pass
about
on
that.
to us.
Senor Sox says, replace the 7th-inning stretch with the Section 108 Smasher Pass syndrome. Totally agree. Make it like 2.5 minutes, though. 2.5
Actually,
minutes instead of 15
again,
seconds.
Play it on Sundays instead of America the Beautiful.
I thought you were telling me to play it right now. I was like, I'll gladly play it again if you want.
No, everyone hates it. It's
love
that's
it.
definitely got passed. So I will shorten it. I'll make it half.
No
And
way.
maybe people will like that. Maybe they won't. Maybe they think it sucks too. But again, what is our fan base telling me? Don't try new shit. My Sox Summer. Fuck you.
My Sox
just
Summer.
stick with the regular shit.
Redo it 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
Let's make it longer,
30
baby. Me and
seconds
you.
longer.
We just end the show with it. Just end the show and it plays for 4 minutes.
I was really proud of that. It actually has Bender from Futurama is saying pass at the end. It's just like, fuck, man. I was like, Treasy's going to nut to this. And he's not. Not at all.
It was tremendous.
scared.
I'm
No
sorry.
nuts.
It was. I'm sorry.
No
It
nuts.
was really,
He was worried about
It was-
Grimace sexually assaulting him. He
it
couldn't
was
really,
really, really great. It was really
Can he
great.
do that?
The flared butt plug of Grimace.
He was thinking about flaring. He's not going to
Big old purple ass motherfucker.
Old sexy Grimace. All right. Here's a different one for you guys, and this is something that hurts the White Sox. So I'm gonna throw that out there first.
Okay.
Get
Pass.
rid of the divisions. There's no need for divisions anymore. You've got the balanced schedule. 100 teams get in the playoffs. No need for divisions. Just the top teams get in. The top 2 get buys. That's it. Right? There's 2 leagues. We stay AL and NL, but that's it. And then it makes expansion easier. It makes everything easier. It makes contraction easier if we need it. I like it. Tell me why it's stupid. Smash or pass?
MSS, you're first.
I like it. I'm smashing this one. And the reason I like it is because everyone complains that the best teams don't make it in, and there's this like, oh, well, they just snuck in. We just had a World Series where people were complaining. We had like the World Series kind of sucked, but the league championship game. No, listen. The league championship games, the excitement was unmatched. I mean, those were just insane, right? That was just a fun time. The World Series, it wasn't as good because one team was just purely dominating. But I still wouldn't want a better series. I would rather the Diamondbacks be there. They earned the right to be there. So if we get rid of divisions, there's nobody sleeping in like that totally hurts the Sox because because they
can't get out on we won our shitty division. They have to be one of the top teams.
But we can't even win that. We are just built right now. I tweeted this, and I know people were surprised that I had a baseball thought in the offseason, and I apologize. But
us too.
We are built to actually just contend. We are not built to win. So this would they would get the fire under people's bellies to get moving, kind of, potentially. So yes, I'm going to smash that. Loaf, tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm going to pass. I got to pass on this. Truth be told, I don't even really like the balance schedule that much. Part of what makes baseball great is the regionality and the rivalries. And the more you strip away the rivalries that exist there, you got shopping mall baseball. It's like Sbarro is not a rival of Cinnabon or whatever fucking bullshit, right? They're all just shops in the goddamn mall, right? Spencer's is not going after Hallmark or whatever card. No one cares. He's roaming through there. Who cares? His game. I don't want that. I want the rivalries. I want the regionality of baseball. And so I like the divisions. Now I would adjust them a little bit, but I don't like this shopping mall version of it where it's just like you just go down the aisle. There's 50 on that side, 50 on that side. So I'm passing on this.
Beef, I would give you more shit about the Sparrows versus Cinnabon thing, but we're already going to be talking about the 90s later. I don't want to go into the great Sparrow versus Cinnabon War of 1996.
Garlic.
I can't believe you forgot about it.
I was gonna say Timothy Maher says Annie Ann's is beefing with everyone, and Missy Carroll says Spencer's versus Claire's. Now that did happen, all right, fine, but that's a rarity. That doesn't always happen. God damn it.
They said who has more total bullshit in their store, and no one could decide it had to go to war.
There were several shirts that said "Hold my beer." On both
So much fucking glitter spilled in that war.
God.
It was very sad. Very sad. All right.
I love Spencer's. That was a good time.
The next, it's still open. We could go.
I know.
We'll go.
Let's not.
We'll go get a slice from my favorite New York pizza spot, Sparrows.
Go to Spencer's, get some Sbarros, and we'll get our ears pierced at Claire's, and we'll buy some jewelry at Spencer's that will probably get us an infection.
Oh my God! Hot Topic versus Forever 21. I think it was actually Wet Seal versus Forever 21, which is a very creepy name for a store.
But Wet Seal. Ugh.
All right, next one up. Round one of the playoffs. So it's a 3-game round. We currently have this played in 2 games. It's the Tuesday and Wednesday after the season ends. The next round will start on Friday. You play it all on Tuesday, Wednesday. And when you say, Treasy, how could you play a 3-game series in 2 days? There's fucking doubleheaders in baseball, all right? So if this is tied 1-1 after 2 games, get back on the field. You got another game. Smash or pass?
I am smashing the shit out of that. I love the idea of chaos playoffs, and they haven't done it. They've been a little soft on this. I know. Some of the player agents might not like the doubleheaders in the playoffs or whatever, but think about the chaos of watching this live and seeing if it's going to go to another game that starts in a fucking half hour. Or even think about being at that park and like, oh shit, we might get a second game that we get to hang out for. I'm drunk as hell, and they're going to keep serving beer, and we're going to keep going. We're going to play another one. Like, think about how exciting those days are going to be when you got the eliminations with the possibility of 2 games. So I'm smashing the hell out of this. I wish MLB would do more of this type of stuff. I saw someone on Twitter like, you think they should add more days of rest for the pitchers? Fuck that, man. Let's push it. Let's have it tighter. Let's have less days of rest.
I would add a player to the roster before I give the pitchers more rest.
Absolutely.
MSS, what are you doing?
I'm trying to think this through. So they're like, we gonna have full doubleheaders, like 9 innings, or are we doing 7-inning doubleheaders?
No, there's 9 innings at least.
Oh man, God, that makes me want to.
No ghost runner either, motherfucker. If you play 14
I don't like
innings,
that.
get
I don't
back
like
on
that
the field
rule.
in 30 minutes.
That's right. Bring in a position player to pitch. God damn it! Do what you have to. You're all athletes out there. Fucking do it.
Hunter Alberto wins the last 2 games of the series.
I'm
Think
also
about how
hesitating.
valuable Brian Shaw would be in this.
That's true.
God, you would have a whole crop of new superstars with back tats,
Huge
questionable
back
back tats.
Exactly.
The only thing that I wouldn't like is that it gets done too quickly and like kind of shortens the playoff experience, which is not always the best. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go with, because he was so quickly with the smash. I'm gonna smash it too, just for my guy Loaf. So let's smash
Okay.
that motherfucker.
Fuck yeah, bro. I love it.
Speaking of shortening the season, I've got an idea to shorten the season because I hate the fucking All-Star game. All-Star game gets the Pro Bowl treatment after the season. I got no time for it during the season. It's just a waste of a week. Move that shit into November. We'll play it in Hawaii or wherever.
Yeah.
Play it in a dome. I don't give a fuck. I don't watch it anyways. Give me that week of baseball in the middle of July when it's nice out and I could go watch some baseball. I'm saying move the All-Star game to after the season. The season ends in September now.
Oh, okay. MSS, you're first, baby.
I like it. I'm gonna smash that. The All-Star game is stupid. Because anything that they say, well, we don't want him to hurt himself, because we got a lot going on, or we might need to trade him. Then I don't want to watch it. Why would I want to watch it? I mean, it's for people.
Josh is right.
Home run derby in Mexico City would be awesome.
I'm in.
They hit the
Aluminum
ball
bats.
They hit the ball 700 feet. Someone would get kidnapped right during the game. Like
Aluminum bats too. Aluminum bats.
Yep, got to hit 17 homers to get your firstborn back. So, and to pass to the second round.
Timothy Maher says, in the Dominican in late November, the way Barry Sanders intended. That's right.
Black Friday.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so I smash.
You know what, boys? It sounds like a good idea and concept, but I'm going to pass on this idea. And you know what? I like concepts of it, but I don't like putting the All-Star game back there. No one's going to care about it, okay?
They don't
I got to
know that.
keep it in the middle of the year, but I want it to be a 7-game series, and the winning team, everyone on the winning team gets $5 million. And we're going to get it sponsored, and we're going to play for real money out here. And so you could, and maybe we allow it so that certain guys don't have to play if they don't want to. So you get some real hustlers in there and want to win that fucking series.
You imagine
and
that league minimum, motherfucker?
Exactly, man. You're going to make 10 times your salary. You're
5
in there.
times.
No?
I mean, even,
Yeah, exactly.
You know how you get that pool of money?
Oh.
By charging the owners for missing out on the playoffs.
It builds up for the All-Star, 7-game All-Star series.
I don't hate
that.
I agree
don't
with the
hate it.
shortening season, but let's give the 2 weeks vacation in the middle and put the 7-game series of the All-Star game in there. And, guys will play, and then other guys don't. They just have a vacation to go Cancun or whatever the fuck they want.
No spring training. We start the season in February. Just get out there and break your arms.
Start playing.
All right, I got one.
Don't
more
even
for you
warm
guys.
up.
Okay, all right.
And this is one I'm passionate about. So I can't wait for you guys to break my heart because I think you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna agree with me on this, but I can't stand the national announcers just in general.
Oh, yes.
Playoffs come, home announcers. Yeah, all this shit's on cable anyways until the World Series. Home announcers, you broadcast it on 2 different channels. You pick whichever announcer set you want. In the playoffs, or the World Series, though, it's home game, home announcers. And let me tell you why this is awesome. Because we would have had to have the D-backs home announcers announce the Rangers win the World Series. That would be brutal. And I'd be here for it.
Teresi, I'm smashing the fuck out of this. I love this idea because the announcers, especially in the earlier rounds, are such trash because they have to spread out and have so many different ones. And it's hilarious that they don't even bring in the good announcers from the normal teams. Why isn't Jason Benetti doing a bunch of these games? It's
He
kind
should
of
have
hilarious.
half the playoffs.
Or you know what they should do? They should do would be fun. Bring in old announcers that are retired. Imagine Hawk doing a couple playoff games.
No.
Would be hilarious, man. It'll be awesome.
No.
Do some, mix it up and do some shit.
Beef, the
But if
problem
you're not
is-
going to do that, fucking do the home
Can't do
announcers.
that.
Let's do it, man.
Beef, the problem is that most of the guys that were like previously big announcers are not announcers anymore because of hot mic incidents.
Well, and like the second half of it, like any game that Hawks go on is just going to be all
Silence.
slander against like Brooks Boyer. I mean, it really will be. And we don't need that.
I mean,
and he's just
I
gonna
love
make
Brooks,
shit
but
up.
that would be great. That would be great.
Well,
I would be entertained.
It would be good if it wasn't. I mean, if you didn't see him on the foul territory with AJ Brzezinski, I mean that was just a lot. Like he was all over the place. It wasn't.
Does anyone?
It wasn't
a serious
concise.
question, not to interrupt this thing. Does anyone watch that AJ Brzezinski thing? Because I know Treasy's like he's trying to become like Pat McAfee, and he still only has like 12,000 followers.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
no.
It's like
I don't
you're
think
not
he's
becoming
grown
Pat
that big
McAfee.
yet. No.
I was gonna say, Pat
mean,
McAfee's a thing. You're just a guy. You're just a loudmouth catcher. I don't know what it is.
I'm just saying that was the idea.
Yeah,
Just
no,
like our idea
yeah.
was to become a watchable podcast.
You're right.
We'll get there eventually.
Someday.
Whatever.
Someday. I'm gonna smash that. I like that idea. It's a great idea. And I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live out west, and I was at a Angels game, and I was out. We were like, it was in the concourse, but they like just push you right out on a ramp that you could smoke on. This was 2007, 2008, so you could still smoke like relatively close to places. And so I was out there smoking, and the guy's like, "You're a Sox fan?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, I love that Hawk Harrelson. And I was like, yeah, I love Hawk Harrelson too. And he's like, you need to have a homer like announcing these things because it makes it so much better. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I like it, but I'm a fan, so it's nice to hear another person that's not a fan also enjoy it. And then I listened to national broadcasts and other team regional broadcast announcers, and they suck balls. Yes. They're not fun. They're not entertaining. Like, okay, so when Apple, I'm sorry, Spo, but like when Apple started doing the Friday night games, you're like, okay, well maybe they'll get some cool stories and get some cool stuff because it's Apple. It's cool. Yeah. No, it was even worse. Like you don't even have like local people doing it. It's like you bring somebody in and they're like, I'm reading a stat sheet like this. And this is like Loaf and Chirizi too. This is what we talk about all the time. And with people coming in with new podcasts and new shit. And it's just like, why are you doing the shit that's already there? Why don't you go out and do something different? Like, exactly. Why are you doing exactly what the mainstream does?
And MSS,
like,
I think this is what this would bring about, right? Like if you say, okay, the playoffs, we're gonna put you on a national stage, you're gonna be in front of everybody. The team would be like, we need guys that are not going to get just destroyed when everybody hears them and go like, this is fucking terrible. Yeah. And I'm looking at you, Detroit Tigers.
Can you imagine like starting off like the World Series on the south side of Chicago, and like Jason Benetti's like, hold on, I gotta go hit the can because I was drinking too many beers over at Buffalo Wings and Rings. Like, and he just says it like right off there, and everyone's like,
and he has a hot mic like Frank Drebin, so you can hear how thick his scream is.
And then,
is this where it's going?
And then Stoney's like, yo, I just crushed a Panzerotti from Punky's Pizza. I got to take a shit too, So, and then they're like, oh my God, who do we need? And then Connor McKnight shows up because that's who just shows up. That's just what happens.
I think HBIC drafted this last 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's it, fellas. That's all I had. I hope you guys like those. I hope you feel like we could change the game.
I hope the intro didn't ruin the segment. So I will
amplify
fix that.
Improve it.
Whoa. Let me just say this. I kind of liked it. I need one
play now.
Or
Pass. Smash.
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 or
Pass.
The last 6 seconds are wild.
It's not long. It feels
Not
so long.
It's very quick. It's very quick, but let's pay some bills. November is here. It's time for all your holiday faves to start showing up. Turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, stuffing, sweet potatoes, dinner rolls, and pumpkin pie. Classic holiday food, but they can get a little stale, right? Of course they can. You can only eat so many turkey sandwiches before you start craving a change. Enter Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. They've been serving up your freshly fried seafood favorites since 1950. So when you've had enough of the bird, get your butt to one of Lawrence's 4 locations and get a full order of coconut shrimp. It's sweet and pairs well with their Thai chili sauce. Add fries and a drink for only $5 more. It's the go-to move all holiday season. Visit them online at chicagoshrimp.com to see all their locations. And through the magic of the internet, you can see their menus and even place an order. Pretty goddamn amazing. Happy holidays from your friends at Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. Lawrence's Fisheries, serving the seafood you crave since 1950.
Well done, my friend.
Those were some big shrimp too, man.
Yeah.
God damn it.
She's serving the whole family
I love
gigantic coconut shrimp prawns.
I'm down.
Fucking beautiful, baby.
Cool.
Beautiful.
So I was recently listening to a podcast, of course, because what else do you do with your time? Listen to podcasts, especially our podcast.
Yes, sir.
But I was listening to Conan O'Brien's podcast.
I started that today.
Because he had on Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic, and also Steve Albini, because it's the 30th anniversary of In Utero. Fantastic album. I mean, Beef, we were teenagers when it came out. It's definitely a moment in time for us where it was like we're really getting into music, and this is an album that is seminal in my music upbringing, right? Like, so I was talking to you guys about it, and then I started talking to you guys about it more, and then I kept mentioning it, and I kept talking about it, and Beef finally said, "Just do a fucking segment on it." He's like, "Why don't you power rank the tracks of In Utero?" And we can agree or disagree with you.
Originally, I wanted you to tweet it, and then you're such a hoe, you don't listen to me. So I said, fuck it, I'm putting the agenda, and now you got to do it on the podcast. So there we go.
And I still didn't do it. So what I did is I found a thing, it's called like tier ranker or some shit. And like, I've seen it on other things. So like, I was like, okay, I'll use this. And because it's going to be too impossible for me to do like, an actual just straight up ranking. So I'll put them into categories, and I have them here in categories, and we're going to go through them, and you guys could agree or disagree with me. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to show this. If you're
blow this up.
Watching it, you could see it. If you're listening to it, there's 5 categories: perfection, amazing, great, good, and meh. And let's start with perfection first. And to me, these two are just my favorite songs on the album. These two just really hit home for me. So the first one is Scentless Apprentice, and this is like this is probably on the album the best rhythm section track to me. It's a very driving beat, just a great rhythm section. The lyrics are weird as fuck. But like, I think one thing that I have to go back in time when I listen to this one is like, this wasn't how a lot of songs sounded. And like a lot of songs sound like this now. Like, so it's tough to separate those two. And then the other one is Radio Friendly Unit Shifter. Great title, nice and long. Yeah. But also, if you haven't listened to this album in a long time, give this a listen and tell me that this isn't the first Foo Fighters track that you've ever heard.
Yeah, Tracy, Radio Friendly Unit Shifter, that would be my number one track on this album. I'm shocked that you also picked it, because back then I don't think you would have picked that as one of your favorite songs. I think now maybe you're
it's different.
My
ranking is very different than it was when I was young, and I'll get into some of those songs that are like lower on my list that were very high on my list, and why they're a little bit different now.
But Radio Friendly Unit Shifter, it's funny you say, oh, that sounds like a Foo Fighters song. To me, that's where I thought Nirvana would have been going. If Kurt had lived, the next album would have sounded a lot like that. Like that song, I think, between that song and Very Ape were like the songs I think were going in the direction of like, that's what they would sound like if they had kept going another album. I didn't love Very Ape, but Radio Friendly Unit Shifter I loved. Scentless Apprentice I just never could get into. Is this something like off-putting about the song? Like, I skip it almost every time when I listen to the album. I just cannot. Like, I'll hear the first couple notes and I'll pass it right up and go straight on the heart-shaped box.
Maybe hang in there for a little while longer. It's a great track.
I've heard it before.
Stick it out. like stuck porn or something, you know? You're like, man, I'm not going to get off.
They have no
watching
choice,
this girl
MSS. I have a choice.
stuck in a fucking washer. Like, I'm probably not going to come to this. Well, wait a second. What's happening? You know, you never know. You just never know. Why does my internet got to give out right when I'm going to make a point? So there's 12 tracks, if it's for everybody listening at home. And so I also rank the tracks too, just to give me an idea of where I'm at. So I'm going to say this. The first 7 of my 12 are straight bangers. Like you can move them around except for number 1. Number 1 is like my all-time favorite Nirvana song, so it's not going to move. But those 2 songs were back-to-back 6 and 7. In my out of 12. So, like, I mean, the first
Right in
7, both of them. And Scentless Apprentice is I have drum beat is amazing. And then that guitar is just ultra crunchy. Crunchy. And I just love it.
When that guitar comes in, that is the biggest connection between that track and Bleach.
Yeah.
Like that is like a straight out of Bleach, just heavy ass guitar track, which is like, I think over time we've gotten used to like the hits that Nirvana had and not really recognizing that Kurt, that was a signature of Kurt. Like he had that in him. And like, that was, I mean, like Negative Creep is just a fucking banger on Bleach. And that's just like,
Right.
That's a lot of that. And so to me, that's something that I just appreciate out of them. And Beef, I get why me and you would be different on this, because like I'm much more into like hard rock metal.
Yeah.
And that's probably not where you go, especially with Nirvana. I think that's where we separate.
Yep, I would agree with that.
And in that podcast, they talk about it early in the beginning, because I've only watched so many parts, but so much of it. And they talk like Kurt was not happy with the way Nevermind like kind of came out and was produced. He said it was too shiny and nice, and he wanted something that was like more raw and like kind of. And this is definitely. I bought my speakers at fucking Radio Shack because I blew the amp out and just crunchy, and it's making some kind of weird fuzz, but it sounds fucking dope. And like this, I mean, this album is 100% that. Like it definitely was probably more of his vision of like what he wanted. So yeah, I think you're 100% right on. Also, funny part about that podcast is Chris Novoselic starts it off and starts talking, and then his watch says, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand anything you said." and like everyone else is like, yeah, what the fuck did you just say, Chris? We have no idea what you just talked, because he just goes off on something, and it's like exactly what I would expect for a guy that like lost his best friend, made great music for, you know, however many years, and was like, you know what, I'm fucking loaded. I'm just gonna go like just exist and just be a person, and that's what he's done. Like I don't know, it was dope to listen to that.
There's a small list of people that I would be like, I would do anything to sit and smoke a joint with this dude. Chris Novoselic is like number 1 on that list.
Oh yeah.
Like, because you can imagine, like, you don't have to talk. You could just like, well, I'll light him up and then let him go. It's like,
Yes. He's talking about some car that some guy gave him. He was like, yeah, somebody gave me a car. That was my rock star moment. Someone gave me a car.
like
and
a $200 car.
Yeah, the guy's like, it was a piece of shit car. And he's like, yeah, but I got it running, man. You know, and they're just like, yes. See, that's that ethos. That's that 90s ethos that you just can't replicate.
We'll get into 90s ethos in just a minute.
It's coming.
Let me get in the next group. And like, so the next group is under Amazing. I have Heart Shaped Box under Amazing. MSS, this goes into that ethos. I can't put one of the hits in Perfection. I had to drop it a level. And then the one to me that was the closest to being in Perfection out of these group was Francis Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle.
God.
I love that track.
So good.
I love that track. And then Serve the Servants I have in this group as well on the Amazing track. And Serve the Servants, I think if it weren't the first track on the album, I might have dropped it a level. But it sets the tone of this album so well. And then you hear in that podcast where they talk about like, this is like a first take. It's just like they just like did it and they were like, yeah, this is exactly how we wanted on the album. And so like that's fantastic. Heart Shaped Box. I think the one thing about Heart Shaped Box that I want to come back to here though is Nevermind. I don't know if you can quite grasp how huge of an album it was.
Gigantic.
Like it.
Oh my God.
Not only was it like a massive album, like it murdered hair metal. Like hair metal didn't exist as soon as the first time you heard Nevermind.
It
was
murdered
that- it was-
hair metal, but then also as a video, it shoved out of the way all the R&B and everything that was going on. It would be like the only song like it in a 2-hour block on MTV videos. That was the one song that sounded like that. The rest of it was a lot of R&B and stuff.
Teen Spirit, yeah.
Teen Spirit. Yeah. It Smells Like Teen Spirit was the one song when Nevermind came out, and like it was like, holy shit, what is this?
And so, you know, you got to put yourself in the context of that time period and go, okay, there's a new album coming out, and it's not like now everything gets leaked and someone hears it first and all this stuff. No, you were waiting for this thing. There was massive anticipation for this song. Like, this was the biggest band in the world putting out a new album, and for us in Chicago, even bigger because Steve Albini produced it. And you're just like, this is all of it, all at once. This song better be fucking incredible. And it could have died under the weight of that. And for it to be a fantastic song, I have to put it in the amazing category. It's just and it's held the test of time. It's still a fantastic song. So like that's why Heart Shaped Box makes it up into that atmosphere. But like I can't put it in perfection. It was a hit.
Man.
First off, that's bullshit. I mean, it's such a great pop song, Heart Shaped Box, and a great video. The visuals in the video are bizarre and totally of the era. And like when you watch it right now, you're like, what the fuck is this? But it set the table for a lot of stuff that came after it. I like that you put Serve the Servants in here because for me, it's probably a top 3 to top 5 opening track on an album. Just like you said, it sets the tone. It's a great lead off for an album. It's like, I can't wait to hear that first one. And I'm a big fan of like, you've got to lead off the show with something that really fucking kills, that's fire. That's why we have the song we have that leads off the podcast. I will never change that because I like the way it leads it off. And so for me, you got 3 right here that would be in my top 5 on this album.
I'm gonna go have to disagree with all you right there
Oh,
because
shit. Okay.
first, like Heart Shaped Box, and this like again, it could be the '90s talking. I have that as 12. Like it's one of my least favorite songs.
Oh,
I know. I just and I think it's because it was just overplayed. I hear it too much. Don't like it. It's the same with Smells Like Teen Spirit. I don't listen to that song. I will skip it every fucking time because I don't want to hear it. Francis Farmer, 100%. Like that's number 2 on my list. Like I love that song. Listening to In Utero just the other day at the gym, it was like this song was like definitely number 2. Like it just stood out so much, and you're just like, this is so good. Serve the Servants is like number 10. It's a very meh song to me. Especially to start it up. I think
that hurts me even more than
I don't like
Heart Shaped Box because I know other things about your rankings here that I just know from knowing you that why you would push Heart Shaped Box down on purpose, and we'll get to that kind of later on. But that upsets me. For Francis Farmer though has like the best bridge. And the lyrics on the bridge are spitting goddamn fire about something that he's extremely pissed off about. And you really feel that in the song. And like, not always in songs where they scream do you feel like, it's like, yeah, this is theatrics or whatever. He was pissed on that fucking bridge when he shot that off. So like, I love that part of that song.
Yeah,
I want a quick comment from Ian. He says Butch Vig's work on Nevermind was brilliant as well. I think, Ian, if you haven't listened to that podcast, you should. Steve Albini's reaction to, for the first time, hearing the Butch Vig mix when they were in the studio recording or about to record In Utero is awesome. Him talking about it is fantastic.
Yeah. But I'm, so sorry that my '90s side can't allow me to put Heart Shaped Box higher than 12. But I just can't, and it's not that it's a bad song. Like, listen, 12th on this record is a number 1 on another record. So like, don't be like, oh man, he's putting this down there with some fucking tune from Hum. No, I'm not. I'm fucking. This is still a fucking elite song, but it's just not. It's not when you got a team full of elites, you got an artist with a fucking good elite songs. Like it's hard, man. And like the one that is the most popular and the most catchy might not be the best, and it definitely was not in this one. So sorry.
I will say there's 11 songs on this that I would just listen to over and over and over again.
Yeah.
There's one I wouldn't. Next up is in the great category. I have two songs here. I have Very Ape and Rape Me. Very Ape, to me, I love this track mainly because, and I think this is one of the songs that I think Steve Albini maybe had the most influence on. I know he's just the plumber. He's not influencing things, but this, out of all of them, sounds the most like a Chicago indie track. Like when you listen to it, there's a lot of like little things in there that you're like, oh yeah, like this is a Chicago track, front to end. And then Rape Me. Rape Me's great, a great track. Again, I lowered it a level because I can't let the hits be too high. But also, like, I think there was like, when it came out, there was a bit of like a shock value to it, and that's certainly worn off over the years for me. Like nothing is,
yes,
things that were shocking 30 years ago are not as shocking now. So like I think that's kind of worn off, and so it's not like, you know, I'm not out there like, did you listen to Rape Me? That's a fucking crazy song, and it's like there's like a billion crazy songs now. I watched guys spray soda all over people like 2 weeks ago. So.
And then you have like Gigi Allen.
But these are
shit,
both
like,
both fantastic songs. Both fantastic songs.
No, so sure easy. Again, 90s ethos. Number 11 out of 12 is Rate Me for me because I didn't like, just not the best. Like, I don't know, it just gets me, doesn't get me right. But Very Ape, number 3 on the My Sock Summer list, is very high. Love that fucking song. And I feel like it's a favorite of Loaf too, but it's just like I really like it's crunchy.
Feels like a My Sock Summer track.
Yeah,
it is absolutely. Like I was listening to it, and I was like, me and MSS could be sitting there smoking cloves listening to this song.
Hell yeah,
30 years ago for sure.
Yeah, I rate these very similarly, so I'm a little different than you, MSS. But Very Ape, like I said, is the other song that I thought if they kept making albums, if Kurt lived. Like Very Ape and Radio Friendly Unit Shifter are the ones that like that sounds like that next album that they would have been making. Like this is the jumping off point of the next album. Treasy, they played Rape Me on Saturday Night Live. And they were told not to play it.
Yeah.
But they said, fuck it, we're going to play this song because we want to play this song. We want to say these lyrics or whatever. And so it was pushing boundaries back then. And I'm always in favor of that. And it's a great song. And I know it says taboo, and we're not bringing this up just yet. Maybe we'll bring this up at the conclusion. It's a great song on the Unplugged as well. So, like, it's a great, like, you know, it can be done a lot of different ways.
We'll get to that later. Very soon.
I'm backing off of that right now, but I just want to say, like, it's one of those bare bones type songs that last. Like, some of the Kurt songs, it need a lot of noise and a lot of different shit. This thing is just like 4 chords and it can go. So that it's impressive.
Beef, great. My next group, because I'll start with All Apologies, and All Apologies, I think it's a good song. It's at the end of the album. To me, it kind of drags. It's a long 4 minutes. It's kind of like it's not quite smash or pass 15 seconds, but it's a long.
Not that great is what you're saying.
It's a long 4 minute song.
I appreciate
that. Dumb is definitely one that I liked more as a kid. I think it's just kind of a straightforward track. People love it. It's a good song. It's a good song. And Milk It, to me, it suffers from its placement on the album. Being next to Very Ape, it doesn't hit as hard because Very Ape is similar in angst of the song. Man. But Milk It, to me, always has, the reason I like it a lot is that it sounds like a Jesus Lizard track to me. Like it could definitely be like if you had Jesus Lizard perform Milk It, I think it would sound pretty awesome. Yeah.
I hear that. MSS, you go first because
first off,
particularly impressive block for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. First off, All Apologies was 1,000% ruined by the Unplugged fucking album because that fucking version got played so many fucking times. I know I have brought this up several times in our podcast, but we have a fucking 203 of them, so I understand that like maybe not everyone's listening to all 203, but like I wish I could go back to before, like, you know, the Unplugged album to listen to All Apologies the first time because it was like a straight fucking orgasm. I love that song. Why do I love that song? Because it's the same in I'll say it's like Stars, it's Hum. It's a very clean beginning, melodic guitar, and then fucking just bam, crunch. You hit that fucking distortion and it fucking goes nuts, and it's just still a melodic distortion. Yes, Treasy, it is long because that's the way it's supposed to be done. Fucking Drowned, 9 minutes.
I said it feels
with
long.
3 minutes.
It's 4 minutes long.
I'm just saying. That's still kind of long for back then. Like, like 3.5 minutes, right? So 30 extra seconds. And my intro was
Heart-shaped
only
box
15
is like
seconds.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's way too long. But it's not still a good song. But All Apologies is quite honestly one of my favorite Nirvana songs. And I loved it. And then like to have it come out and close out 6 Feet Under, which was a series on HBO. Like, it was the last song they were playing, and they didn't play the unplugged version because it sucks balls. They played the actual fucking album version, and it fucking killed. It was dope. It reignited my love for that song, and I'm like, I need to learn to play this on guitar, and I never did, but no big deal. Milk It. Treasy, I'm going to have to also disagree with you because this next to Very Ape, you got 2 bangers right in a fucking row, man. Like, what's better than getting your face melted off once, twice, 2 times right in a row?
No.
It was great.
You're misunderstanding me.
What?
I like them both there.
You said it loses its luster.
Them being next to each other in a ranking makes me have to pick the better one. And and Very Ape is the better song, so it moves Milk It down a rank.
All right,
Both very good songs, so it doesn't matter. Both very good songs. Milk It, I got it at number 5 on my list. Oh, fuck. What was the last one? Dumb? Was it Dumb? Yeah, Dumb, number 9. Like, I mean, just above Serve the Servants. Just like, I don't want to say forgettable, but like, kind of what you're saying, just like regular ass song, man. In this whole track list, not a big fan.
It's funny because like this album is so
They're all
fantastic. There you
all
look
good.
at Dumb, which is a great song. Like
Any other band had that song, that'd be their best song.
People would sell their soul to the devil to write Dumb, and we're like, yeah, it's all right.
It's okay. Yeah, Treasy, I was gonna say, correct myself first. Rate Me was not on the MTV Unplugged. It just had a bunch of unplugged versions of it that you could hear on B-sides, and I really like the unplugged versions of it. Back to these songs. Milk It, to me, is the worst song on this album. And I will skip it instantly. I like Scentless Apprentice better than Milk It. Milk It's a noise track, and I normally like the noise tracks, but it just isn't good. It's like the one song where I was like, if I were eliminating songs from the record, I'd remove this one and put it as a B-side, and I would slide in here, whatever, verse, chorus, verse, or one of the other B-sides.
Marigold.
Yeah, exactly. A good
The
B-side.
second Foo Fighters song?
Yeah, exactly. I'd throw one of those in there. Like, I agree with MSS. I love All Apologies. I think it's slightly worse than Heart-Shaped Box, but I like both of them. I think they're both great pop songs, and I also agree with him with the fact that it's much better on the. It's much better done with the electric guitar
It is.
and all the
Yeah.
blaring everything. That's the way it should be done. I agree with you 100% there.
Doesn't need Easter lilies all around it. Fuck that shit. No.
And the last song, Treasy, you said it perfectly. Like with Dumb, if someone else wrote it, they'd be like their one hit. It'd be like they'd be living off that thing for 20 years. And it's a really fucking good song, but it ends up sliding to the
like
back half of any ranking because you're just like, that's
like
good, but it's not.
The 40th best song. It's like the 40th best song they wrote, and it's still really good. It's still really good.
Exactly.
So then we get down to my last the meh of this, and I'll start with Tourette's. And now this is a song that probably would have been top of the Treasy rankings when I was a teenager. It's just very aggressive track, but listening to it as an adult, it's just Territorial Pissings Part 2. Oh. Like it just very much has the same exact feel. It's like if Black Sabbath wrote another song that sounded exactly like Paranoid on the following album. So like, and then Penny Royalty, I just never liked the song. I went back to it. I was like, you know what? I'm probably like, as an adult, I probably like this more. And I was just like, nah, this is definitely the last on my list for this album. Bring it on us. You love the acoustic version because it's the same.
No. So Tourette's, it was the number 4 on my list. I like it, but like for the reasons that you said, it makes sense because you know me. I don't like acoustic. I don't like anything slow. I like balls to the wall like all the time for the most part. Like there's very few times where I'm like I don't want to listen to something that's like this like going. So Tourette's at the top of the list and making it like be very like a sophomoric style. Yes, it tracks for me. You know, it's like hey, it feels good. Let's do it. Also, the Penny Royalty, the coolest thing about that song, I have it at 8, was learning what Penny Royalty was. And like people saying, you know, that's like to abort babies, right? Like people are supposed to drink that so you can kill the baby. And I was like, what? And so then I had to listen to the thing. But yes, the droning, singing in that, not a fave of MSS by any means. I would agree with your meh ranking with Penny Royalty.
Beef?
Yeah, I'm gonna put these. So I put Milk at his very last would be on my list. These two are like 11th and 10th. I mean, they're just not. You know, Tourette's is a punk song. I'm just not a punk guy. Like I like the adaptation of punk that became alternative rock, but I'm just not that into punk rock in and of itself. And then I mean, Penny Royalty is just it's okay. I mean, it's like it's totally fine. It belongs on the album. Like it's poppy enough. It's rhythmic enough to stay, but like where I wouldn't eliminate it like I would eliminate like Milk It, but I just like some songs need bangers. Like they can't 12 songs, 9 of them are bangers. That's terrific. Like it's just not a
really
banger,
well.
You know? Like it's
I mean, I've listened to this album probably like 4 or 5 times in the past week because I listened to the podcast and I was like giving it a listen, and then like you brought this up as a topic for the show, so I listened to it a bunch more, and it was just like this is. Like every time you listen to it, you catch like new little things, and like it's for as simple as, you know, the 3-piece Nirvana world is. There's so much complexity in it, and there's so many little things that you like catch here and there, little feedbacks, little things that just make a song different than everyone else does, and the attention to detail that they have in doing this and doing it in like. What they do this in like 10 days, like it's
right held up and
fucking
just
insane, and the fact that like they did all this in like this little place with Albini, and it still sounds great. Like I mean, this album sounds amazing. Like it takes everything that you look at Seattle for, like that whole scene in Seattle. And you listen to like the Hype soundtrack and things like that, which I re-listened to. There's some bad songs on there. But there's like, you could tell that what you were listening to was the live version. Like this is like you listen to Muddy Banks of the Wish Guy after this. Yeah. This is the closest album to that in sound. It sounds like them playing live, and that's awesome. Like capturing that. Yeah, for a bunch of us, I mean, like I'm assuming that, like most of the people listening to this, and I know myself, never got to see them live.
Nope.
Right. Never had a chance to do it. In being able to get a glimpse through this album is fantastic, and I love it.
Now, Teresi, did you listen to the 30th anniversary version of this? Because the second disc,
I did not.
Apparently, I started listening to it. It is a live show in L.A. And it's at the Forum, so it's like during the In Utero tour. And I was listening to that because there was some songs in there. I was like, oh man, I want to listen to that and I want to hear it live. And it just took me right back to the 90s with Kurt was so fucking sloppy as a guitar player. like all the live songs, like there's a mistake every 3 seconds and his guitar's out of tune, and it's just like, oh my God. Like, and it took me right back to being in the 90s, being in band yourself, you know, you're just like, God, we sounded like shit. Like, you know, it was like, everything was too bassy, you know, whatever. Like, it just, everything was just bad. Like, I mean, you had 3 guys that had 3 different amplifiers, 3 different sounds, and you're trying to, like, put it all together, and it's like, fuck. You know, it's crazy.
MSS, that was actually one of my favorite parts of the podcast, and I apologize if you haven't gotten to it yet. but like they're talking about when they add Pat Smear to the band, and Dave's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, we need to get another guitarist in here, tighten things up, because he's like, let's get the guy from the Germs. He's like, fucking terrible idea.
No, it's just it was different. I don't know, man. It was just like Kurt's starting a song off, and the third chord is wrong. And you're like, okay, what the fuck?
Hot start.
Or it's out of tune or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's great. I still enjoyed it because it's like you just can't you can't repeat it, right? Like it was a moment, and you're like, they were insanely famous and insanely like beloved, and people wanted to be there, and it was like they could do anything. They could do anything they wanted, and it would have sold 1 million records. Like it didn't even matter. People were just that bought in. So their fame is just unquestionable. So yeah.
Awesome, man. I'm glad you guys let me do this. It was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
And
that was
maybe
great.
We might bring it back at a certain
We
point.
can
We'll see
power
if
rank
there's
a lot of
there's
things.
There's another album or two that we want to get into.
Yeah,
maybe,
sounds
Yeah.
good.
Maybe commenters suggest one, and then we won't do it.
Yeah.
The segment went well enough that I'll make a video that is at least 15 seconds long for power rankings.
You betcha you
so get ready for it, and then y'all can fuck off when you don't like it.
Well, it's time for thank yous. Beef, who are you thanking or GFYing this week?
Thank you. I'm going to thank Mike Rankin and James Fox for having me on the Future Sox podcast. This was like the 4th time, I think, that I've been on there. I always have fun on those conversations with those guys because they really let me rip. They just ask the question and get out of the way and kind of let the beef loaf go. But they keep it nice and tight. And for this one in particular, not only do we talk about the White Sox and kind of the future of things we think are going on at the front office, James Fox and I at the very end got a little horny talking about Varsity Blues. So jump in and catch the last 2 minutes of that. We were upset.
Just listen to the last 2 minutes.
Last 2 minutes, if you want to hear Varsity Blues talk, we were upset that Mike Rankin had not seen Varsity Blues or the program. So that's just ridiculous. I feel like
football.
I feel like he needs to watch that before I'm willing to go on that podcast again. But I thank the guys. Appreciate you for always having me on. It's always a great time with them dudes.
Good stuff.
Awesome. MSS, who are you thinking or GFYing?
I mean, first thank you goes out to HBIC for having a good majority of White Sox. For having a good majority of White Sox Twitter at his home. Like, allowing people to come in your home is a totally different world. I appreciate that. I mean, he did tell me that he had to hide bottles of like his good bourbon, and I was like, dude, who's gonna come in and just start drinking whatever you have in your shop? Like, not ask you. And then no. And then I saw Shane Spagnola in there, and I was like, yep, that guy. That's the guy that was just gonna come in, start drinking beers, drinking all your shit. Just drink everything without even asking. Just start drinking. So, I love you, Shane. Really glad I didn't wear the '83 White Sox uniform that I have, because we would have been twinsies. But I also want to give a shout out and a big thank you to the Yumper and Sfo for giving me this fancy shirt here that you can purchase, I'm sure, on their website. It's great. Also, Sfo for hooking me up, getting a whole new rig, boys. And we've talked about this, and my erection could not be bigger. I am getting a new computer for the first time in 16 years. That's correct. Not the one that I'm talking on right now. The one that I use for graphic
I
design.
can't believe why this cuts out all the time.
No, this is not this is a Dell. So I don't think they had Dells 15 years ago. Or at least I don't think, anyway. But no, and we're replacing the old standby Mac desktop. Got a new desk, got a new fucking monitor, got a new everything. Gonna have a whole new fucking rig. Here we go. So get ready. Like, when I'm gonna be able to do videos on the same computer as I do the design work, it's gonna be great. So get ready for it. Whole new era coming in 2024 for the 108.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna thank Jason for having us over to his place for Halloween. It was a lot of fun. I'm gonna GFY though anyone who dressed as a baseball player. For,
yes.
Just like I have this in my closet, I'm dressing as this.
Oh,
or just wearing a hoodie and a mitt.
Well, that was.
Shots fired there.
I don't normally wear baseball pants that you can see my BWC out in the public, but
Also,
I
by the
made
way,
an
I took
exception.
a picture of myself in Jason's bathroom
With
because
the penis.
because he had a big dong hanging, like a severed
Yeah.
dong hanging, and I took a picture thinking everybody would notice that, and it
No.
seems no one did.
No
Which
one cares.
Didn't notice.
GFY to the internet for not paying attention.
Listen, when you're as good looking as George Clooney,
I know.
people don't look
I
at
know, and you're
dongs in the
basically
mirror.
in a cowboy outfit,
Right.
But thanks everyone. We will talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out tonight. It's a good time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Smash.
Or
Pass.
Wait, sorry, wrong song. But definitely catch me and Beefloaf on the Au Jus next Monday. We're gonna do some more trades.
Fuck yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.